You're losing some cash in the flesh with a package from China, so let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. In today's video, we are going to be doing a chit chat about the Mega Everdrive X7 display LED light, or Ultra, whatever. This thing comes with a very nice packaging, and that is something you don't see very often. Most of the times we're just getting a cartridge and the quality is always, let's say, in hit or miss. But this is just bringing it to the next level. So having a very nice quality case, I would be interested in seeing these cases if you're having like those, let's say, custom games from AliExpress or China. So in here, we have a little bit of a difference when it comes to the label. So we can actually, wait a moment. So we can actually slide it in and out if you want to, but ooh, somebody has been naughty, even having implementing over here and some logo. So the cartridge itself comes in different kind of variations. The Mega X7 Ultra version with the instant save function, where I'm really curious about. One of the things you always need to instant backup are these micro SD cards, because this is just a freaking nightmare. Different kind of color and quality, or at least like quality is quite nice when it comes to, but the colors are slightly different depending what kind of version you want. It also comes with a manual, so they're implementing that too. So this is a very nice complete package. Let's see what it actually says in here, if there is any information. The Mega X7 Ultra is the retro cartridge designed for nostalgic gamers supporting Sega's classic games, high performance hardware, and let's see, instant loading, save state, in-game, the ability to save the current state of the game or application, following users to resume from the exact point where they are left off. This is a very cool, interesting option. The product can also be play audio files, so that's also cool. The LED light, long press the return button on top of this. Man, seriously. Oh, we're going to be testing that out. So supports up to 32 gigabytes. So when it comes to the SD cards. So in here we're having all of the over. It's kind of interesting. They went for a Sega Saturn control. Why? So when it comes to the menu, it's going to be looking similar. But let's boot it up and let's see what we're getting. The manual, no toilet paper manual today. Everything has been made fairly nicely. Good presentation, yes. But okay, so let's take a close look at the menu itself and what you can do. The menu is quite similar when it comes to the previous model. The menu itself is actually just very simple. You can just rename all of the folders if you're going to be putting your SD card inside of a computer. However, in here having the Master System list that actually just has the option also to play Master System games. I don't use any converter at this moment. So let's say Double Dragon, we want to boot it up, pressing A twice, and it will boot up into the Master System game. That seems to be all working fine as it is. So that's kind of cool that we do have this feature with this particular model already, that we don't need the converter anymore. So let's see if the buttons are mapped like it should be. That seems to be all working just fine. But let's see, in the main menu, pressing start will automatically boot up into the last game you have played. And at this point, because it's instant loading, you really don't need anything going on when it comes to that. Pressing reset will reset the game system, as you can see over here. It does have less a bleeping sound. Okay, let's turn it on and off and we'll bring you back to the main menu itself. If you're back into the main menu, you can press the C button on your controller, getting into the main menu itself. So pressing A, we're going to the options. So here you can see the game region where my system has been set to now at the moment. The Mega Key state, we have in-game menu, mapper, and then we're having reset the game itself. Okay, reset the game is off actually, so you can change it out. We're having options to enter game GD cheats if you want to. We're having run CD, and the CD add-on is not detected. But again, there's an option you can actually do. So if you want to run the CD add-on, you can actually do that. Put your games in and play through there. System information, firmware version, and everything else. The system type is over here, Japan PAL. And if you're going to be looking into here, you can actually switch it out if you want to in the different region. So we're going to do all kinds of cool stuff, which you can see over here, and the about page itself. But how about the quick load, quick save? So let's say we're going to be into the game itself. So what you need to do is pressing start and down, pop up the extra in-game menu. I already made a save file, load it up. But the downside is that it sounds kind of weird. it still remembers the last part where it was. So that part is not like supposed to be, because just actually using the main menu. So let's make a quick save again. So let's save it here. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is resetting the system. Yeah, okay, so it was giving me an error when it comes to that. Doesn't supposed to do that. So let's boot up into the game. And let's get into the menu. Let's load. But because there is no background music, so where the quick load, quick save is a very cool feature, it doesn't work perfectly when it comes to that. But let's showcase and loading up a game. So if you're going to be loading up games, it's going to be super fast when it comes to that. So you can make new folders. I'm personally always making a favorite folder now. It's so much more convenient. But let's say we're going to be booting up another game. Let's use a 5M file. That's quite big. So let's select it. And let's see how fast the loading times are. It still needs to do a little bit of loading. And it gives an error. Okay. Yeah. Would not say it's going to be an issue with the Everdrive itself. It can be a problem with the file. But I just wanted to showcase, you did see that some loading time is still required, where, for example, the Pro of the Everdrive is instant, like it loads up. So let's see if we have like another file. Let's see if we have another big file, 3M. We have it over here. Do we have like a 5M? No, yeah, they're very rare when it comes to that, in my opinion. So Saturday night, Slam Master, let's boot up game. Let's see what happens. And loading, yeah. Loading, very long. But this seems to be booting up without any problem whatsoever. So another thing I wanted to do, so let's make a quick save with this. Let's see how this is going to be working. Okay. I just wanted to see if it's still having the problem when it comes to the quick load, quick save situation. Okay, so let's go into the mode. No. So the audio issue, is it here over there? Let's go. Let's do another save. I want to make sure that everything seems to be working like it should be. No, so there is no problem whatsoever. So it was particularly the single game I actually tried out first that had an issue. But let's move on to the Sega 32X. And we cannot boot it up, it doesn't work, that's a fact. But let's load up, let's Doom already to begin with. Let's do a quick load with this. And the reason why, because we're going to be adding the 32X now to the system. And then we're going to be starting it again by just pressing start. So let's boot it up with the Sega 32X attached to it. Let's press start. What I already mentioned before, it's like if we're going to be press start, we automatically load up into the previous game. And that's Doom. But that doesn't seem to be working, and maybe that has to do because I messed it up when it comes to the region. Yeah, I messed it up when it comes to that. My mistake. So that's another thing, if you're going to be loading up these things, yeah, what you're going to be needing to do is getting the right file. Ah, crap, I accidentally used the European version, my mistake. But let's get into the Japan USA version, select start. And let's see if it's going to be putting up everything and be set right, including the console itself, because the console can also change it out with different kind of region. This is not like the improved version, but you know, it's great still to just check it out. Oh man, there's a long time I've been playing that. But yeah, as they promised, we can actually play some 32X. So far I know like those $15, $20-ish, let's say, cartridges also had this option. Almost messing like which button do I need to press. Oh, the pixelated characters. Oh, I totally forgot how awful this freaking thing was. Oh. But if you wonder, can you do actually a quick load, quick save? No, there is no menu. So that actually menu only works for the Sega Genesis Megadrive games. So there's a little bit of a downside when it comes to that. Man, this game's so cool. Oh! I'm getting always my ass kicked in these games. Wow, did I just do a combo? I did a combo. But how about the LEDs? They were like having so much like say promotion on the box about that. So what you're going to be doing is holding the instant save function for a couple of seconds, and then it also resets the freaking system. So it's absolutely like one hot mess when it comes to that. But what's actually the idea is that it's going to be turning on the LEDs over there. So yeah, that's it. And if you're going to be pressing it once, it's going to be turning it off. And you know, they were so fancy with these LEDs. It's kind of cool. I must hand them that, but yeah. The Mega X7 LED Light Ultra cartridge is a very interesting piece of technology. So if you're going to be comparing this with this particular cartridge, you can pick them up for $15, $20. It's absolutely nuts how cheap these things have become. But you need to have like a very long loading times. They say instant loading, but let's be honest, they still sometimes need a little bit of a loading time. Not something that is really annoying compared with this one. But yeah, paying let's say in the craziest price is $20, paying around like $80, $90. Though there is a massive price gap between them, but this thing comes indeed with some extra cool features like a MOS system. So I've been using the original Mega Everdrive for a very long time, but also this thing had some loading times, but it was a lot of enjoyment using this, and there are still a lot of cheap options when it comes to the official road. But let's say we're going to be doing a battle, the Mega Everdrive Pro versus the Mega X7. So if you're going to be doing comparison with these, so this is just the best one. This is the one you get if you want to use everything instant loading, and this works like a charm. So when it comes to the original, nothing beats that, but the Mega X7 is a quite interesting option because it's still like a very low price compared with the Pro. Thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments which one do you prefer. It would be great if you subscribe because that means that we'll see you in the next video.